Hi folks, it's Cheryl-Ann Webster from the Canadian International Institute of Art Therapy. And I just thought I'd drop by to do a quick live as we haven't been able to do one lately because we're running so many classes and pretty busy. We'd also, if you looked at the last live, saw we went to the American Art Therapy Association conference in Miami, which was excellent. And there we picked up some new media. So I want to introduce you today to Kwik Stiks. I'd never heard of these before, but I thought they were pretty interesting. And I apologize, but our WAG director, Little River Pup, is crying in the background because she wants to be on camera too, but I told her she can't eat the Kwik Stiks, so she'll just have to stay in the other room. Anyhow, so I want to talk to you about Kwik Stiks. And the reason this came up is because I've been teaching the Therapeutic Arts Practitioner Program, and in Module 2 we talk about the media continuum, from a controlled media to a fluid media. And you can learn a little bit more about that another time, but generally speaking, pencils and markers are considered controlled media because we have a lot of control with them, and they're also more of a dry media. And then the other end of the spectrum, we have fluid media like paint and water and inks and goop, if you know Lucille Prue's famous goop. So that's the fluid media. You have a lot less control over it. It can go in different directions. You can't manipulate it as carefully as you can a graphite pencil. However, both media and everything in between is known to evoke different emotions and access different memories and different parts of our psyche. So they all have a purpose. As we go along that continuum and as we go through that spectrum of media, well, things are changing because we've always known paint to be a fluid media, and normally it's got a bit of a reputation for being quite messy. So sometimes it's not necessarily what the client wants or needs or doesn't want or need, but it could be the environment in which you're working with the client. So working at a hospital bed, it's really hard to have thick goopy paint or really watercolor paint and paintbrushes. Sometimes the environment where your client is doesn't allow us to really go into the goop world or the fluid kind of the world. So we have to produce or introduce more controlled media, whether we feel that's what the client needs or not. So what I'm excited about is that at the conference we were introduced to Kwik Stiks, and they are an in-between of a controlled media and a fluid media. In fact, I would say the more we explore creative methods and newer technologies in those creative methods, we blur those lines between controlled and fluid even more than ever. So these may look like a glue stick, but they're actually paint sticks. So here, I'll bring it up. Look at the vibrancy of that color. Now, the interesting part is they're pretty clean. I'm not getting my hands mucky, which I love to get my hands mucky, but there's so many situations where we can't or our clients aren't comfortable with that, but they still have the vibrancy and the texture of paint. And I'm going to do some little experiments to show you what it's like as you apply these things. Now, there's also some downsides. They do look like a glue stick, so it's a little bit more challenging. They're a little hard to manipulate in the sense of taking the lid on and off, and you have to turn these. So anybody with fine motor skills issues may have a problem opening them. The good thing is they're nice and thick to hold. Now they do come in a different size, it looks like. So there's also a thinner one and a little easier to get off because there's this extra grip, and the turner has an extra grip, so it's a little easier in that sense. They seem to come in a range of colors. I bought a whole box full. Couldn't keep the box, mind you, because I was flying across the border and needed the space, and they were extremely affordable. I've also found them on Amazon and other places. You can look for yourselves. So let's see how they work. Now, as we know, when we're working with different media, whether it's fluid or controlled media, what the ground is, what the paper, what our base is, really impacts how the media moves around, as well as how the client may feel as they apply the media to that ground. So here I've got some quite thick watercolor paper. It's got a little tooth to it, a little texture to it, and we're going to see what it's like to apply this to that. So you'll have to bear with me because I don't have my full studio kit here, so I'm working on a little tripod that doesn't like to change very much. So let's have a look at how this might work. So it glides on quite nicely. You can see where the tooth of the paper does break the line, which can provide some some texture. You can color in and fill in space quite nicely. You can't do too finer things. You can't do too much cross-hatching that's fine details, but as it's more of a fluid media replacement, you wouldn't need the finer details anyway. Now, if you work them quickly, they are, oops, can't get the lid off this one. Here we are. They are blendable. So if you work them quickly, you can blend the colors in. So you still can get a little mucky if you're like me and love to do that. Oh, saying that, there's actually no residue left on my fingers. I guess I'll have to save my messy desires till later. Now, in a moment, this will dry so that it won't blend. That can have some pros and cons to it as well. But the interesting thing is if you're working in those environments that it can't be messy, or clients don't want to get the media on their hands, that's quite helpful. So it says on the package within 90 seconds, and I would say even less, it no longer blends or moves around. The other part we've noticed with this is once it's dried, you can go back over it and you'll still see the original part of the drawing through it. So you can actually layer this media as well. So that's it on a toothier paper. Of course, I've got this wonderful piece of Perspex, as they say in the creative arts world. Here's one I created earlier. I'm going to put some paper behind it so you can see it better. There we are. And this piece of plastic, and you could do this with all kinds of media, allowed the Kwik Stick to stay there, but also have that wonderful translucency, so you could do it on glass and so on. So I'm going to just color in a little area to see what that's like. And of course the vibrancy of the colors aren't there as much, but I can see through, I can work around, and I can layer them up. Let's see what the blue's like now that we've got more of the blue. Well, that one's probably a bit too light for the camera there. Let me grab a darker color. There we are. So let's look. So it can be layered up, it can be pushed around, and it can give you that wonderful effect. Now, of course, if you were working in paint, we could pick a print up from this. But with these tempera sticks, these Kwik Stiks, you can't pick a print up because they dry so fast. So right now I can smudge that one off. The 90 seconds aren't up. We put the pink on first, so let's see how that goes. And it rubs around and it does peel off. The good side of that is if you're using them on windows, you can wipe it off quite well. Whereas the blue, let me check I'm on the right side with the blue that we did earlier. Yeah. So with the blue, it is staying on there quite hard and firm. So the long and the short of these is if you aren't in a position where you can use a fluid media like a paint, watercolor, goop, or any of those, you're in that maybe senior's home, hospital, or you're going to a client's house to work and you just can't have the mess there, or you're working with clients that don't handle the mess very well, don't enjoy the fluid media and are staying in the controlled media end of the spectrum quite a bit, and you want to see if you can encourage them into the fluid part to get to deeper emotions and allow spontaneity to come a little easier, then these might be a good alternative. So they are, it says here they're non-toxic, other than a choking hazard of the lid. So as with all media, do be careful. But the cons is being able to handle them, getting those lids on and off. The pros, and they don't blend after 90 seconds. The pros are they don't blend after 90 seconds. They give vibrant color. They come in a range of color, including some metallics. They're affordable. They're easy to obtain, and it's fluid media or close to without the mess of fluid media. Hope that was fun for you. I'm going to enjoy playing with these a little bit more. If you want some more information on them, just Google Kwik Stik, and it's KWIKSTIKS. And they are available in a lot of your local craft stores as well as on good old Amazon. I'm going to go and play with the puppy. When I finish playing with the puppy, I'll explore more of these media. You do as well. Post your images and your comments in the lines below. We look forward to hearing from you, and thank you so much for all of you that came on this speedy live on this wonderful inspirational Friday. Thanks very much, guys. Take care. See you at ciat.org, CIIAT.org. Bye.